Hey folks, this is Phillip Lyde, one half of Team Lyde. Live your dreams every day. Over the next couple of weeks and videos, of course, this room will drastically change because we're actually making a position in, well, I won't spoil the surprise, but there'll definitely be some changes to my background over the next couple of weeks and months. With that being said, listen to this story and tell me, why is it that so many people, so many so-called business owners and leaders overlook or misuse the fact that you must be clear and concise in your communications in business. And I say this because even with network marketing, whether it's your traditional corporation, your brick and mortar, or even your mom and pops, we oftentimes imply a lot of directives, or we imply that we're more competent than what we are, when in fact the reality of it is that I was listening to one of my mentors, and he was saying that the whole fake it till you make it mentality just makes you broke. You become what's known as a broke faker. And this story is interesting because I'm a high school teacher by day, and outside of that hours, I work my business part-time. And before I get into that, the past couple of days I was traveling down to South Carolina, which is not too far for the most part, but I was going to a new area, so it was probably about 4 or 5 hours out of the way because I had to cut toward the middle of the state. And, I got the car. My principal gave me the rental car. He told me where I needed to go for my reservations because on the corporate level, on the administrative level, that was already taken care of. So I'm down there, and the rental car didn't have satellite radio, which is neither here or there. But it was a very long drive, especially when you're stuck in rush hour traffic. So I finally get down to South Carolina. Now it's about 10:30 at night. I'm tired. It's hot. It's still, even though it's 10:30 at night, it's still 88 degrees out there. And in South Carolina, it's humid. North Carolina is still humid, but this type, it was like real thick, and you could feel it. So I'm sweating for no particular reason. Face is oily, I barely ate. I did stop off and get something to eat because I needed my vegetables so I can grow big and strong and things like that. So I get to the front desk and I said, ma'am, I have a reservation. My name is Phillip Lyde. Last name is spelled Lyde. Are you sure that you have a reservation here? I said, yes, ma'am. I'm with a company called AMI Kids, and we have training in the morning, and I believe the training is here. No, I don't see your name. So I had to call my principal up. He says, the lady said that she sent me an email, said that she made the reservations. I said, cool. So I spoke to the director, the national director who was at the training. She said, I apologize, but we don't have any reservations. The young lady implied that I was supposed to make my own reservations. Which is interesting because if I had to make my own reservations in the first place, I probably wouldn't have done it. Only because, given that it was short notice in the first place, it's not my responsibility to ensure that the business runs at the convenience of others. Does that make sense? And I say this because it became frustrating that night. It became frustrating Wednesday night because not only did I have to go and find a room because the young lady says, well, unfortunately, we don't have any rooms here. And something told me to take my resources just in case something like this happened, because it's never happened to me before. But I took it just in case because I said, well, anything could happen and I may need to pull out my own funds and resources. That's the beauty of network marketing. And so she says, well, we're sold out here. Maybe you can go across the bridge to the other hotel, the Hampton Inn. Lo and behold, I get to the Hampton Inn, and guess what? It was also sold out. In fact, within probably a 2-3 mile radius, it was sold out. Now, mind you, I'm in a new town. I don't know where to go, you know, and everybody has a different perspective as to what the young lady said in the email. So after that was hashed out, that the young lady dropped the ball, you know, and she clearly miscommunicated what her directives were. And, you know, I found a room. In fact, I found a room while I was driving back, because I told myself, I'm giving myself about 10, 15 minutes, you know, because now Melissa's starting to worry. And if I don't find a place within 10, 15 minutes, I'll take the chance and drive back home. So found a room, long story short, went to the training, got a lot of good stuff out of that. But it was until the information was clear that I was able to succeed in finding what I needed to do. Because I can survive in any particular environment. I mean, I'm not no high-speed special forces cat, but I can tell you this: if I need to make a way, you know, towards my independence, then I'm going to do that. I am a rhino, and what rhinos do is that they put their heads down and they charge forward. That's all I had to do in this particular case. And the reason why I say this is important, even in network marketing, is because oftentimes when people sign up under you, you may not give a clear directive as to what a person needs to do next, what a person needs to do right now at this moment. And the first thing to do is, if they hadn't done already, just to save you the trouble of you running around and chasing people, the first thing that you want to do is make sure that you're explicit in what you're telling them. Make sure you're not holding back anything. You know, I tell people all the time that me and Melissa are on track to make $38,025 in a single month. That is our goal. You know, have we made it yet? No. But what I'm telling you is this: in sincerity, you don't want to put yourself in a position that, you don't want to put yourself in a position of telling people that they can make all of this money, you know, in 90 days and you haven't done it yourself. You know, nobody can tell me how to put it like this. If a person is out of shape and he tries to tell me the correct form on bench pressing 400 pounds, am I going to take his advice? Or a person walks up to you and they say, you having that child, you know, the best way to raise your child is A, B, and C. No, it can't happen, and it's not even logical. But in network marketing, somehow a lot of newbies take on that task, and well, so-called leaders rather, they take on this task and they expect that people coming in with no experience, no business acumen, or no business experience, you know, a lot of these people are kids. They're hustlers, and while that's good on the temporary side, what does that do for the longevity and the credibility of the business? And in communication, there's things that you must do specifically in order to make your intentions and to grow your team to the heights in which you want to do that. First thing is, be clear as to what you're offering and what your purpose is with this person. I had a person the other day, I instant messaged that person on Facebook, and I simply introduced myself, and I said, you know, this is I saw you in this particular group, and I definitely want to connect with you to see what works in network marketing and what doesn't work. Let's possibly network together, you know, in a nutshell, and I'm paraphrasing. And she goes, well, do you want to join my team? Hold on. Okay, I'm sorry, but what the hell was your point? I mean, what the hell are you selling? What are you involved in? That's what I'm asking you. So my purpose was not to sit here and give you this long speech or this long spiel on why communicate, because it sounds a little bit cliche and it sounds a little bit common sense, but oftentimes we realize even our so-called leaders don't have that. You know, a lot of guys are achieving success strictly by default and what we call grinding it out harder than anybody else, which is fine, you know. But in my industry, in the company that I promote, Empower Network, what we do is we work smarter than harder. You know, we don't take, and the reason why we say that is because we're more efficient in maximizing our current resources. Regardless of where you start at, is where you end up at. That's the issue. And the way you do that is through the leadership and the culture that empowers you versus enables you in thinking that by holding information or by just simply being vague in your responses that people should join your company because you sound extra secretive, and that sounds like a symbol of success, and that's crap, you know. Another point that I want to make, and I'm going to keep this really short, is the fact that in being explicit, especially with this message with this young lady, you know, on my end, and I told my principal this, one of the things moving forward that you must always get is a commitment. You must always get some sort of confirmation. In this case, I should have had a confirmation number from the corporate office stating that they had did exactly what they say. Ron Wilkins of Wilkins Fitness once told me, this is an awesome dude, and he tells me this, and I always remember this. Make a commitment, fulfill a commitment. Make a commitment, fulfill a commitment. Say what you mean what you say, do what you say. Walk the walk and talk the talk. You know, we say it in different ways, but it's the exact same thing. And when you do that as a leader, when you do that in your company and on your team, then people will go through that process like we've been talking about time and time again, knowing, liking, and trusting you. Okay? You must get that particular commitment in order to proceed. And you also have to get permission to proceed in that respect. Meaning, in network marketing, if you're wasting your time trying to talk to people, trying to fill them out 3-4 times, you know, weeks at a time, and everybody is different, you know. On an average, what I'm saying is, if you're wasting your time trying to swap links, meaning if you reach out to somebody to network one day, right, and you try to get to know them, and and the first thing you do is you shoot them a link just because they accepted your friend request or they added you as a friend, or or vice versa, then what you're doing is you're in essence you're swapping spit. You're trying to see who has the better pitch and who's going to sell who first, which is unfortunate because you might be missing out on the one person that can maybe either help your business grow or take your business to the next level if you ask the right questions and you become more efficient in getting those commitments. If you cannot get a commitment from another so-called entrepreneur who's looking to grow their business, you know, especially if you have training tools or resources such as we have that can help improve your business. I don't want to take anything away. I just simply want to add, you know. But a lot of people think you're in competition with them, and that's not the case. You're only in competition with yourself. But if you don't get that commitment from people, why are you wasting your time with them? Why are you giving them thumbs up? Why are you giving them likes? Why are you sharing their content? Because all you're doing is bigging them up while your business is being unproductive. I'm telling you this because I've learned this the hard way through trial and error. My mentor, my personal sponsor, Mr. John Chapman, is a monster. He's a monster, and he's a clear case as to why I saw the changes I needed to do in terms of not just my business brand, but my posture. And this is the whole culture of Empower Network. Guys like Mike Sherratt, Andy Foote, Andrew Jones, Paul Hutchins. The list goes on, and this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. Last but not least, the consistency that we have transcends this industry and people's primary businesses. Okay? And in communicating that, all right, in order to lead by example, you have to understand this. And this is the third point that I want to make, is that in this particular instance that I saw, you know, oftentimes you never want to become complacent or take advantage of the relationship, the business relationship that you may or may not have. You know, in this particular case, everybody, put it like this. I accepted the role on my responsibility in the whole ordeal when I went out to South Carolina, for the fact that I actually accepted to go to the training. You know, I could have easily said no. I could have made up an excuse, but I try not to make as many excuses these days. But what I realize is people who don't want to be accountable, people who want to make excuses for why or why not things are working or ineffective, you know, then you pretty much want to distance yourself and give those particular people limited access. Now, as a teacher, I was telling my wife this yesterday, as a teacher, the lesson that I learned from this is that with certain people, even within the corporation of the school that I teach at, you have to deal with them with gloves on, as they say, because the whole system is based off of the traditional stance of a hierarchy. Then this is what it is. If there's an issue with me, you deal with my higher up, which is my principal. If there was an issue with me in the trainings or how I'm, my professionalism or anything dealing with my career as a high school English teacher, then you deal with the person that put me on board. You deal with the person that I'm responsible to first. Otherwise the whole system itself breaks down. And that's what I would encourage you guys as leaders, even in network marketing. If there are issues, if there are concerns, if there are questions, then you should be the first one to address it to the people that you sign up or the people that you refer to other people on your cross team. People shouldn't be looking around wondering what their sponsor is doing or what their leadership is doing, or nobody take any responsibility for any damn thing. And they just say, well, you just don't believe, or you just don't, you got to do this, and this first in order for me to talk to you. Look at the leaders that you guys have. Definitely take your experiences. I definitely took from this the fact that even in my own network marketing business, that at the end of the day, while you're building a team, you also need to communicate the fact that you are building your vision, period. If there are certain things or certain methods that don't work in accordance to that vision, in accordance to your values, then you don't need to be doing it. Point blank, period. Okay? So with that being said, let me just go back over it. You need to be clear in what you communicate to people. You need to lead by example. You need to also stop wasting your time dealing with people who are not committed. You need to make a commitment and fulfill a commitment. And last but not least, you need to be, the best person that you can be without compromising your values. And with that being said, this is Phillip Lyde. Team Lyde, live your dreams every day. I suggest you go to my links for any past videos or blogs. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter. You can always share and like this content. Any questions, concerns, bitches, or gripes, I'm still here for you. Let's see you on the other side to your success. Peace.